In the beginning of your career, and this is one of the things I find most interesting about your story, is you failed.
Yeah.
You actually pulled your now wife aside and said, I'm a sinking ship.
Yeah.
And if you wanted to leave, I would completely understand.
Yeah.
How did you go from that to, like, there was something you figured out.
Yeah.
What is that thing you figured out?
The reality of my situation was so bleak that I honestly didn't even process the reality of my situation, because the more I thought about it, like, the sadder, more hopeless I would feel. And so I focused on the few things that were under my control, which is like, I can do these things. And so when I talk about advertising, when I talk about selling, I talk about those things boiled down to the actual actions, because I had to think of it in that way, because it was the only way that it wasn't overwhelming. It's like, I just have to make 100 reach outs, or I just have to spend $100 a day, and I have to look at the ads, and I have to turn off the ones that are bad and do more of the stuff that starts to work. And that was the process of getting me from kind of like dark to a better outcome. But I mean, from that actual point, we did the only thing we knew how to do, which was market and sell. And that was how we got out of that. And honestly, that single skill of being able to generate leads, independent of the industry, has been like my get out of jail free card. Which has allowed me to fail over and over and over again until finally, I got it right. And even after that one, when we were at the rock bottom there, I had just, 90 days earlier gotten a DUI. My mom was in the hospital, really bad shape. That's when I had just lost all the money, which is when I pulled her aside. But then fast forward 6 months, basically repeated the cycle again, which is we had started doing these launches where we'd fly out and turn gyms around, like Bar Rescue, but for gyms. And when we were out there, all of a sudden we came back home and we saw like 2 of the gyms refunded all of the transactions, because they just told the people they could just sign up through them and just do it for half the rate, after we had already spent the money for the hotels and the flights and all the ad spend and every, a whole month of work. And so we basically, all the money that we had saved up in that, like, I think we're out of jail free, lost it all again. And only then did we accidentally pivot into the licensing model, which ended up becoming the thing that was like the first very big success that we had. But like, that whole period of time was 5 years of basically not having anything. Even though on paper, when I had the gyms, I materially looked successful because we had 6 locations. But I always just put all my money back into each new location. So I had very little actual cash. I was asset rich and cash poor.
I know the drill.
Yeah, right. And so, but then when I lost everything after that, because I sold them, took the money, put in the new venture, and then lost it, I was like, wait, I just lost 5 years, because I had nothing to show for it. And so that's probably what has created a lot of the hypothesis I have now around, I didn't lose the 5 years. I lost the assets which were not the most valuable thing that I had earned over that time. It was the skills, the experiences, the character traits, because I still had those. And then using those 3 things, I was able to do the next thing, fortunately.